Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back here with another YouTube video. And in today's video we're doing another edition of Who Would Win. So yeah, if you're unfamiliar with exactly what this is, pretty much a match of two characters from Marvel and DC, or Marvel and Marvel, or DC and DC, and pretty much come to an outcome on who would win, in my personal opinion. And I use a variety of knowledge ranging from comic book knowledge, movie knowledge, and TV knowledge, if applicable. Uh, yeah, if you don't know, pretty much I kind of have no input into who these matchups are. It's completely wheel generated. But before we get into this battle, I just want to quickly address something quickly. Uh, yeah, so I actually decided to reboot this whole series in terms of the fact the superheroes. I decided not to use the same superhero twice, or villain, or anti-hero, whatever, two times. So I've decided not to reboot it and start utilizing the characters. I think I might reboot it every month, or not every month, maybe every couple, 3 months, maybe something like that. Because I believe that's how long I did, and I did maybe 100 villains and heroes and anti-heroes, something like that. So I decided it's time to reboot them. So yeah, there's still a handful of good villains, heroes, and anti-heroes that I didn't really do too much, but I'm hopefully gonna get into it. Another thing as well is I've changed up how I pick these characters. I still use a wheel generator, completely random, but now every week I've decided to just kind of put 8 characters and then spin the wheel until all characters have been chosen. But I've decided to use characters that are evenly matched. I mean, we're not getting any more like Tim Drake versus Scarlet Witch matches. I want to say that it's more kind of realistic and just more better, just for the fact it might make more interesting in terms of debating. Because, for example, this week I'm trying to do some non-super power beings plus Monday, uh, which will be another non-superpowered beings. But then I would be, or minor superpowered beings, I would say, because some of these have kind of superpowers like Daredevil and stuff, but they don't arch drastically and stuff like that. And then, of course, next week I would do more cosmic beings, superpowered beings. So then there's that, of course, as well. So that's just what I wanted to do, and I want to make them more interesting for you guys. But yeah, let's get into this. So in today's video, we got a Marvel vs. DC matchup, and it's going to be Daredevil versus Nightwing. So yeah, we actually got this interesting matchup, and I actually wanted to give my input on this, but of course it's randomized again, so I didn't want to kind of be dishonest or anything when I say that. But it actually, the wheel generator is spinning on these two, so I'm pretty excited to do this one. It's the Daredevil versus Nightwing one, and a lot of people do this as a matchup because these two characters are very similar in some of the stuff they do. Both acrobatic, both use two sticks, and they're kind of like expert detectives. I mean, Daredevil's a bit smarter than Nightwing per se, but yeah. Anyways, let's get into this. So, let's go quickly over powers slash the powers slash morals of the two characters. So, we got Daredevil here. He's representing the Marvel side. Let's go over his abilities. He doesn't have any superpowers per se. I mean, he does have heightened senses, which is kind of a superpower, but it's more of a minor one. It doesn't affect too much in terms of like he's able to use his laser eyes against Nightwing and easily kill him. For example, it's more so minor, where it doesn't really affect the battle too much. I mean, he has enhanced senses, but then again, he's blind too, so I mean, you kind of understand why it's kind of minor because, I mean, if he had heightened senses when he can see, that'll be a different story. But he's blind, so there's that, of course. In terms of superpower slash abilities, I would say he doesn't really have superpowers. He is able to. He's got enhanced superhuman senses. He has radar sense. He's a skill. He uses acrobatic jumps and stuff like that. Martial artist, and he's a stick fighter. Of course, he uses, say, the two sticks that he uses in his hand. He's a master with that, and master hand to hand combat. So yeah, there's that. And then of course with Nightwing, he is very similar in the sense he's a master of hand-to-hand combat, master of using two sticks and acrobatics and stuff like that. He's also in inclusions. He's an expert detective, I would say, and he's very good at using, say, high tech equipment, whereas Daredevil doesn't really use too much high tech equipment per se. But let's get into this. So, of course, these characters are two very evenly matched characters in the fact that they're very similar. Uh, but there's a few differences, especially with it could make a lot of a difference with Nightwing being a bit more smarter in a sense, and the fact that Nightwing is able to see as well, and Daredevil can't see, but he does have heightened senses. So I mean, he could technically kind of see Nightwing. So yeah, let's get into this. So right off the bat, I mean, there's no prep time as it just most of my fights no prep time. And moral wise, it's not very bloodlust. Sorry, I forgot to go over the morals. Daredevil's morals, he's superhero, he won't kill. Same with Nightwing, they won't kill. So yeah. Uh, I mean, no prep time, of course. So Nightwing's not gonna know that Daredevil is blind, unless he could maybe. There's no really way you could tell Daredevil's blind without actually seeing his eyes, or maybe he looks the other way, but I don't think he'll do that per se. Uh, so there's that, of course, and I'm gonna say Nightwing probably goes at him and fights him, but Nightwing is doesn't knowing he's not blind. I mean, he doesn't know that he's blind. Would probably just keep fighting and fighting and fighting, and he would just pretty much be beating up Daredevil. But Daredevil will be able to dodge him and everything and see him coming. And say they're in a ring too, they'll be fighting each other. And I mean, say what you want. I mean, Nightwing definitely has better equipment and stuff, but Daredevil, in my personal opinion, is just a way better fighter. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's way stronger than him, but at the same time, I feel like he's a little bit more powerful in terms of his feats and everything. Like Nightwing, I mean, he's cool and all, but at the same time, we kind of go with realism on this channel. And Nightwing is not. I feel like Nightwing would just get his butt whooped. I can't even lie. I feel like Nightwing would stand somewhat of a chance, but Nightwing's not very skilled in terms of just straight up fighting. You could tell even when he fights people, he's a lot of his times he needs to use like high gadget equipment and per se. But I feel like Daredevil, if Nightwing tried to pull like an electric rod per se or battering, Daredevil would easily just dodge it and stuff because he can hear it coming. Uh, so there's that, of course, and it's like, yeah, he's not. I don't think he's gonna land anything on Daredevil. I mean, maybe a few times he'll maybe block him, be able to like smack him with his stick or something, which I think could happen. But for the most part, I think Daredevil would easily just be able to just punch Daredevil. I mean, punch Nightwing and stuff like that. Same with say Nightwing was approaching Daredevil. Daredevil would be able to dodge him because he could hear him from like 5 miles away. So there's that, of course, and it's just like, yeah, I think Daredevil would win. But I mean, I know somebody's probably gonna say this in the comment section, or is thinking it to themselves. They're probably thinking, "Oh, Nightwing could probably beat Batman, and he's beaten Batman before. Then Batman beats Daredevil." Yeah, that could be true, but I mean, Daredevil, to be honest with you guys, fights on par with Batman, at least in my opinion. Slash, you can kind of tell he fights on par with Batman. Uh, I mean, I don't think Batman loses to Daredevil personally. That's just my personal opinion. But I definitely think Nightwing's definitely well, a bit weaker than Batman. I mean, he's not as strong. He's not as just intelligent, pure intelligence than say Batman. But anyways, that's pretty much the end of this. I say Daredevil wins. Comment down below. Do you agree with me in the fact that Daredevil wins, or disagree and think Nightwing wins? But anyways, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.